in our activity this week, we did a mirror reflection and we're talking about love bombing. So, what is love bombing? Like, just love bombing is literally just dropping love all about yourself, like to everyone, anyone, anywhere. Love is what's leading you. You need to lead with love in all aspects of your life, in all areas of your life, especially in your damn business. If you aren't coming from a place of love and a place of service, shit's just going to go sideways. Like then that's when you're selfish. And that's why things feel gross when you're having a problem telling people about your gifts or telling people about your offers or telling people about what it is you do or what promos you have or what launch is coming up, when you're stumbling on your words and you're having a hard time actually expressing what you do or asking for that monetary exchange in return, when you're asking people for the sale, it's because you're not aligned and you don't actually feel the love in what you're offering, or that confidence you're lacking is a lack of self-love. It's a lack of love for what you're doing. It's a lack of love for yourself. It's a lack of love in your ability to serve. It's because there's a disconnect. There's not only an emotional disconnect, but an energetic disconnect. And this disconnect is feeding this, it's just it's disalignment is what it comes down to. Like, if you can't put the time in to pour love into yourself in order to pour love into your life and business and what you do for others, then there's just no fucking point. There's no point. You feel gross because whatever you're doing isn't out of love. Point blank. And I say this with love. I'm calling you out right now. So if you're not feeling good about a service that a price for one of your services, for example, if you feel like you kind of have to offer discounts all the time, like, there is deeper shit here. This is a lack of self-worth. This is a lack of self-love. If you're struggling with your pricing and your product suite, it's because you haven't done the work on yourself. And that's why you're lacking confidence. Because you're either in that fake it to make it energy, or you're kind of threw some shit together and you're throwing yourself out there. And I'm not saying you don't just figure it out as you go. Like, we all fuck around and find out. But if you're not feeling good about it, you need to stop and like take a minute to check that shit. Like, we need to do the energy assessment. We need to see what isn't working. We need to see what it is we are not feeling good about. A lot of us, now if you're listening, this is gonna some hard truth right here. A lot of us are really excited when the client comes in and we get to treat them and we're all a vibe, might have some good conversation, they pay us, everything's great. Now, do you continue to have follow-up touch points with those that you've served? Or do you just let them leave and that's it? Because most people that I coach feel like they're bothering people to check back in with them. Well, yeah, if you're just checking in, with the intention of only like, hey, can I sell you more? There's a difference between upselling out of service to make their experience even better. And there's a difference between following up and actually caring about the result and the healing and making them feel like they've been taken care of. If you're not going to put the love into taking care of your people, why the fuck should they come back? Why the fuck would they recommend you? Why the fuck would you continue to scale and grow if you don't put love into what you do in every way that you serve your people? You're going to feel a lot better about yourself if you know that you're showing up in your best ability right now. If you know that you're not that great in what you're doing, if you've taken an online course and you don't feel that good about your skills and your pricing, that's why you're not getting the bookings. That's why, because you feel like a lie. So if you still need work, if you still need practice, then you need to hire somebody to help you. You need to hire one-on-one skill development, take another training. You need to do what you need to do in order to get the experience for you to continue to move forward. So a lot of the times, if you've taken an online course and there's no practical portion, that's why you're stuck. If you don't feel good about charging enough because you're new, well, then why don't you offer services in exchange for review? That way, it's not really a free treatment. If they cover the cost of materials used, you can offer your time for free as a way to get the practice in and be honest and get like the feedback and the testimonials and the pictures and the reputation, you can trade that way. You're trading energy. So when you're pouring into yourself with honesty and being upfront with why you're not feeling the love between what you're doing and what you're selling and the people you're working on, this is where you're going to find the strategy and the tactics to grow. So here I've gone from talking about loving what you do and reaching out, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, now we're talking about what is it that I need? What do you need to be better? Is it just in your head? Are you just stuck because you have this block and spinning in circles and don't know where to focus your energy? What can you do to make your life easier right now so that you can sell your services, so you can show up in confidence? If your skill set's there, but you just don't know how to sell, and you're beating yourself up because you're like, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do this, then why don't you invest in yourself by hiring a coach that can help you do that? If you don't know how to do something yourself, why are you beating yourself up and continuously making yourself feel like shit with these expectations, trying to figure it out all on your own and get there on your own and put more pressure on you to do it by a certain time frame, make this much money because you have a family depending on you and you need to be responsible and you need to make sure that you didn't waste these savings that you spent on these trainings to do this job so that your husband isn't carrying all the weight. What is it that you're hating yourself for this decision you made? You're hating yourself for where you are. You're hating yourself for not being there yet because you have some choices to make. You need to choose to love yourself enough to keep going, to keep showing up, and to trust yourself. Self-love and self-acceptance and self-trust are the trinity that are going to help you grow and expand and anchor into who you're meant to be. You cannot move forward if you keep repeating the same self-sabotaging cycle. Most of us who are multi-passionate and creative will have one thing we don't feel confident about. And then we're like, okay, well, I'm just going to put my mask. We're used to masking, throw the mask on, put on our happy face, and just throw ourselves out there and hope that we can do the best that we can and just like second guess everything that we do, zoom in on all our work, freak out. That's not serving you. You're repeating the same cycle. You have to love yourself enough to break the old patterns. What got you here will not get you to where you're going. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but it is very true. You need to look at what is it about you? Where are you lacking? Where is it that this scarcity is coming from? Where is this lack of confidence in yourself really rooted from so that you can choose your next steps with love? Do you lack guidance and support? Do you hate yourself for not being able to do it on your own? Because I have news for you. You're not meant to do it all on your own. You got to let that shit go. You need to love yourself enough to ask for help. You need to love yourself enough to talk about your gifts, to talk about what excites you. Even if you don't think you're like a master fucking artist and you don't think that you're like a badass business beauty boss yet and you're brand fucking new, what is it that got you started? I can almost guarantee for most of you listening are heart-led. You've come from somewhere, whether you've been in nursing or you've been in teaching or you've been in some profession where you've been heart-led and helping others because you feel fulfilled by helping others because you justify your self-worth and the ability to seek validation that you've done a good job for somebody else. You only feel good about what you do when someone else tells you you did a good job. That's what it comes down to when you really break it down. So we need to anchor into the energy of you are capable of creating transformation and solving a problem in another human being's life. That is a divine fucking gift. Your ability to create an experience, whether it be a set of eyebrows, changing scars and stretch marks, improving someone's skin health, whatever it may be, if you are capable of creating transformation, that transformation is the value your client is seeking for, solving a specific problem that's going to make them feel better about themselves so they can show up as a better version of themselves, to do better for themselves in life, as an act of self-love for them. When you separate that validation you're seeking from the transformation, when you know that that is your purpose and what you're capable of, that divine gift to provide that transformation with your set of skills, the reason you're even lit up and pulled to do this in the first place, that passion is your gift. That passion is the pull from your soul into your purpose. That is the love you're leading with. That is what you're selling. That is what you're anchored into. Have you celebrated yourself for being able to do that? Do you realize how incredibly capable you are? There's a lot of people out there that can't do what you do. And you know what? There's a lot of people that can't do what you do the way that you do it. People buy from us because they are experiencing us. They choose to be in your energy, to have it done your way, to spend their time, their money, and their energy with you. They're placing their trust in you, their face, their body, their appearance in your hands. Most of us doing these treatments, often they're very like therapeutic. Even as a tattoo artist, even just like a flash tattoo, you are part of their human experience. You are part of their life. You've made an impact on another human being. Have you loved yourself for how incredibly capable you are to create these incredible experiences for other human beings? To make them feel better, their life better? When you have like a mother and daughter come in for a tattoo, they're going to be celebrating that, and you've given them something for them to have an emotional attachment and memory for the rest of their life. Even when the time comes that, when we lose a parent, we have a tattoo we shared with them, like that lives on forever. You have the gift of legacy. Self-love is legacy. Your self-love is your legacy. That's what I need to be saying. Your self-love, fucking quote me on that. Your self-love is your legacy. Because when you give, and you're pouring from an empty cup, eventually you burn out, you crash, and you always know you weren't giving it your best. And you second guess everything, and people can feel that shit. They feel when you're bullshitting. They feel when you don't know. They feel when you're trying to copy and be someone else at disaligned. Like, it's weird. So when we shamelessly promote ourselves and what we are capable of, what excites us, what we want, the difference we want to make in the world, what is your dream? What is your story? What is your vision? What are your accolades, accomplishments? What are you celebrating today? All of those are acts of self-love. You need to love yourself enough to connect. You need to love yourself enough to invest in your personal growth, into your life, and creating a life that you love, that you want, that you desire, that works for you. This is why people invest thousands of dollars to work with me, so they can align their life and their work. That's an act of self-love. This is why I created the Mystic Sisters community coaching membership, because having a community and putting yourself out there to connect and to manifest and create, to be seen, heard, understood, to have somewhere that you can feel safe and show up and continue to grow and get the help that you need, that's an act of self-love. Listening to this podcast, doing the activations, participating in activities, even taking time, just having even the time right now to listen and focus your attention on this is an act of self-love. You made time for yourself today. You've opened your mind today. You've expanded your awareness today. You've allowed yourself to become activated today. That's the same kind of self-love as booking yourself a nail appointment, as booking yourself in for a massage. You're putting time and energy into you, and that can look like a lot of different things. Write your self-love notes. Like, write it on a Post-it note and put it on your fucking mirror for the week. That's your love note. Sometimes I'll write one and put it in my wallet so I can find it again later and be like, I wrote myself that. Because how nice is it when you find a note written to yourself? Sometimes I'll sit down and write myself, especially when I've had a really hard time. An act of self-love for me is to write myself a letter. And I apologize to myself for ignoring the signs or needs, especially when my body's hurting or in a lot of pain or I'm in one of my spiral phases. I'll write an apology to myself for not acknowledging and accepting what was being seen or shown to me or expressed to me. When we ignore signs from our body or signs from the universe, that shit comes back tenfold. Doesn't ever go away. You can bury shit as much as you want, but it's still there. It starts to rot. Loving yourself is allowing yourself to exhume the skeletons in your closet, to shed light upon the darkness in acceptance, to move through it, to sit with it, to acknowledge it. Stop hiding from it. Be okay asking for help. Be okay with not being okay some days. But really putting the practice and intention into that dedication and daily devotion of giving yourself time. You should be giving yourself time every single day. If you don't have hours to give yourself, it can be as simple as 5 minutes to sip your coffee in silence in the morning and write your affirmation for the day. Sitting with a crystal, doing a card pull. What are your intentions for the day? What is the message you're receiving? Taking a moment to tap into who you are and what is being shown to you right now. Your body's always telling you what you need, but often we aren't listening. We're not drinking enough water. We're not stretching. We're not moving. All that tightness and tension is because we need to move. We need to release. We need to get rid of that. And if, we can stay like, my back hurts. Why does your back hurt? We need to stretch. We need to move. We need to mix up our habits. There's no shame here. We're human. I'm trying CrossFit for the first time today. Like actually go. It's taken a year of my friend Josh trying to get me to go. I'm finally trying it today. I've been in resistance because I feel broken, because I feel embarrassed. But I realized with my recent up flare with my body dysmorphia when it went on high and out of control, and sure, I'm succeeding in all these areas, but then there's this area of self-love when you neglect and ignore and kind of shy away from it, turn it off. You're like, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. You're like, I'm doing so great, I'm doing so great. But when you ignore where you're neglecting to pour back into yourself in that area, I can't just ignore it. It'll only get louder and louder until I finally go, okay, I'm going to deal with this shit right now. So, if anything from this episode today, I want you to really sit with yourself at the end and ask yourself that question. In fact, you should be asking yourself that question every day if you've been ignoring yourself. Where can I pour into myself today? What do I need right now? You can close your eyes, just like when you ask yourself, what would feel good right now when you're seeking joy? If you've listened to that episode in the beginning there, if you're seeking joy, what would feel good for me right now? And that first response is what you need. It can be anything. It can be anything. Don't try to convince yourself of what you think you need. What is it that you need right now? I often forget to eat. It's just like, I need a snack. Okay, well, I'm gonna go get a snack. So what do you need in that moment? When your phone's going off a bunch, what do you need? Do you need to just like reset your phone? So like you have like a full few minutes of silence where no one get a hold of you? Like, is that what you need? What do you need today? Where can you ask for help? Do you need a hug? When's the last time you actually realized you needed a hug? Like a real hug, not like a quick pat on the back. Like it takes like 15 seconds or some shit before like your endorphins are actually released through a hug. Like when's the last time you asked somebody for a hug and a heart to heart? We need like 3 to 7 of those things a day or something. Pour into yourself. Love bomb yourself. And then do that for your clients. Express gratitude. Thank them for coming in. Check on them. See how they're doing. Love yourself enough to follow up and learn more about your work. Like follow up with people. If you aren't getting after pictures or inviting people in for you to check over your work, for example, you can invite people in to get photos, check over your work, get testimonials. It's not being greedy. That's an act of self-love. You want to see how your stuff is healing. You want to see how your customers are feeling. You want to reach out and let them know you're thinking of them. And you want to be able to improve their experience in some form. It's an act of self-love. Showing up for yourself and knowing that you're showing up in the best version of yourself in the best possible way for all of those you're working with is an act of self-love. Love bombing is as simple as smiling more. Not that fake, like, if you're watching on YouTube, my crazy smile. When we smile, when I think of my kids laughing, you feel like a lightness, especially if you don't have, I have to get my Botox redone. Haven't had it in a long time. But like when I go to smile, there's like a lightness that happens in my eyebrows. Like I can feel it lift. There's a lifting that happens in my face. Like I can feel the lift happen. And then, so you like smile with your eyes and then your mouth follows. And I'm like focusing on it, staring at myself. But that lifting, and when you really focus on something funny and you feel that lifting and you feel that tautness, and you will start to smile. You will start to think of those that you love or something, like just really anchor into that feeling of love, that feeling of greatness, laughing things off. That's the energy you want to call in. That's how you're love bombing. So when you see someone walking down the street and they don't be like, hey, right? Like you don't want a fake smile like that. People can hear a smile through the phone. Love bomb by showing up for yourself and having that energy, anchoring into that energy of happiness, of smiling, of expressing joy. Instead of getting stuck in what isn't working, what isn't happening, and what hasn't happened yet, love yourself for all that you have available to you right now. For all those people who have been a part of your life and journey so far, for all those people who have invested their time, money, and trust into booking with you and working with you, and to all those that have supported you in some way, be it emotionally, financially, even physically, anyone who's helped you on your journey along the way. And if you feel like you've been doing it all alone, then you really, you deserve love for that. That's a lot. Share the love. Love bombing. I want you guys to really think of ways to celebrate. Like, I would make a point of celebrating something about yourself once a week. Like, make a post, put it out there, use social media. Thank yourself for being here. Thank yourself, pride yourself. Whenever you're practicing or working on something new or taking a new course or reading something, whatever it might be, starting a new routine, throw it into your content. Throw it up into the internet. Love bomb the internet with all the amazing things you are. Shamelessly promote yourself and what you're doing. Shamelessly promote your story. Shamelessly promote your journey. Shamelessly promote your dream. Shamelessly promote your goals and your visions and what you want to call in. Shamelessly promote others and collaborate. Shamelessly promote and give thanks to all those that have been a part of your journey thus far. The shamelessness is what's going to signal to the universe of what you want more of. Because you don't need to hide anymore, sister. That's why you're listening to this. That's why you're watching this on YouTube. That's why you're here right now. You deserve to scream from the rooftops and into the stars and all of echoing throughout the universe how fucking incredible you are. That's what makes you different. That's what magnetizes people to you. Your energy, your vibe, your capability, your ability, your incredible soul, mind, magnificence, everything about you is worth loving. And when you anchor into that, you know that, and you work with that, it gets a lot easier to talk about what you do, why you're here, what you do, why you're here. You don't need to be scared to go live. You just need to love yourself enough to be okay with being new at being live. You don't need to be scared to invest in a in a coach or in a program or in a new skill set, you need to love yourself and know enough to know that you're capable of learning and showing up for yourself and creating the results that you're looking for. You need to love yourself enough to know that anything is fucking possible for you. I'm going to leave that at that today. I'm going to leave it there. I'm leaving it there. Leaving it there. If you're feeling alone, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like you're just so full of self-doubt and you're constantly in that cycle of being broke and busy and why isn't it working and why isn't it happening for me and why can't I just get it right? Why am I so stupid? You know, you go in these knowledge holes and then you feel like you've wasted all this time because now you've gone down to this knowledge hole and you're forever learning and never doing. This is why I've created the membership, so that you can take simple, easy actions. We only have 2 lives a week, and you don't have to be live. You don't have to put that extra pressure on yourself. You can love yourself enough to show up, make the commitment. We have quarterly and annually. I say we as in like me and my multi-personalities. So there's a quarterly option and an annual option. The quarterly option is a commitment. You're coming in for 3 months because it's 3 months to see that transformation. You got to get in, you got to get used to it, do the work, show up. You're making a small commitment to yourself. You're loving yourself enough to show up for 3 months. Now, if you commit for the annual option for the year, then you're in like, that's a solid energy. I'm even rewarding you for committing for the year because we have the pre-sale pricing on right now where you get 3 months for free. And the reason I've done that is so you can put the energy in. You can be all in without going over the edge. You can be all in and know that you love yourself enough to make the small step each month necessary for you to show up for yourself and for your business. This is the energetics. This is the strategy. This is the support you need to go from brand new business, making $0, dreaming of 5K and hitting those consistent 10K months, scaling to 6 figures as a solo artist, as a business owner, finding the support and nurturing yourself, loving yourself enough to form connections, to create a community, to have a network, to have consistent effort, just one little bit at a time, to work on you, to work on your business, to get where you want to go, to love yourself enough to invest in your dream. And if it's too scary to jump in doing one-on-one and coaching with me, I know it's a large investment. People pay me a lot of money to really go deep and like work through those big energy blocks and realign themselves, build those personal brands, redo their offer suite, refine things so it's simple and works for them. You still get access to me and my wisdom and my knowledge and all the same tactics and things that I talk about with my private clients during this membership. We do a touch point twice a month. It's pretty easy. It's twice a month we have our touch points. During that time, there's live Q&A. You can ask me anything so I can help you. I can help you. And then this is where you can post about your accolades. Celebrate. I want this community celebration. The more we celebrate others and feel inspired and motivate, you love yourself enough to spark inspiration, to spark motivation, to move yourself forward in life and stop being so stuck. Love yourself enough to pull yourself out of the pit of despair and do something about it. If not with me, with anybody, with someone. If you need to move your body, move your body. If you need to make the moves in your business, make the moves in your business. If you need to go buy the fancy fucking pink hoodie that you really want, go buy the fancy fucking pink hoodie that you really want. But do what you need for you. What do you need right now? Ask for help. Accept what's happened and move on. It's a lesson learned. Love yourself enough to get momentum back and move forward. Because that higher version of you, that version of you that you obsess over, that you know is just right there on the other side, it's all there for you. You get to have it all. And all you have to do is love yourself enough to reach for it. Much love, many blessings, and until next time.